Hi, this is Karthik Manani. You have produced here 236. Today I'm going to do my lab experiment number 4 of Unix and Linux lab. So in this lab, the aim of the experiment is to do base conversion using shell scripting. So basically we have to perform 5 types of base conversion in this particular program using shell scripting. First is decimal to binary, the other is binary to decimal, then octal to hexa, and then hexa to octal. And the last one is decimal to hexa. So this was the aim of the experiment, and we have to use particular loops and everything, if else statement, to perform this particular task. So first is my decimal to binary conversion. So here is a snippet of my code which I have performed in the PuTTY SSH client and compiled my shell script in the Unix environment. So here, as you can see, first I am echoing and answering a number to be entered in decimal format by the user, and I am storing it into the variable n. Then I am storing the variable n is that is the value of the number entered by the user in a temporary variable named t. So here I am storing into the temporary variable named t. I am taking a bin variable 0 and c variable 0 initially because c will act as a counter, which I will tell you later. So then I will put a while loop, and until and unless the $d, that is a temporary variable in which I have stored the number, is equal to 0, the while loop will keep on running. And then do. So first I am gonna do the modulus of the number. So let's suppose the number is 5. So I will do the modulus of the number, and that will be equal to 1, which will be stored in t1. And then I will divide the particular number by 2. So if the number was 5, then now the quotient is 2. So t will become 2. And then t2 will multiply 10 to the power $c. $c initially I have initialized that it as 0, but every time it will increase by plus 1 whenever the loop reaches the last statement, and bin is 0, so it will be 0, and I will append it in the last. So again my number which t becomes 2. Now I will again divide 2 by modulus 2. So now t1 will become 0. So the t1 will become 0, and now echo 2 will again be divided by 2. T will also become 0, and t2 now it will become 10 into the power 1. That is 10 into the power 1. It means now t3 will multiply with t2, that is 10, and t1 is now 2. So 2 into 10. 2 into 10 plus, initially my number came 1, so 21. So now for the particular 10 plus 1, so 101. So now I will append the bin, and I will show the variable is bin, the binary representation is bin. So as you can see in the example of 5 which I told, the answer came as 101, or the binary representation of 5. So this was my particular output. Enter the number in decimal format 69, which I have entered, and the number came in the binary represented format. Now the same logic has to be applied with the binary decimal, but in this case we have to multiply instead of dividing or taking modulus. So this is my particular program for binary decimal. So here you can see the output, the program which I have performed in PuTTY SSH client in the Linux environment shell. So here, as you can see, again I am asking the user number and reading it into the n, storing it into the temporary variable name as t, taking initially decrementation and counter variable c0. Then I am running a while loop until t becomes equal to 0. Then I am performing t1 divided mod 10. I am storing the particular value into the variable name as t1, and if t1 is not equal to 1 or t1 is not equal to 0, that means the number is incorrect. In case any of my user does not enter 1 or 0 as the input, because I am asking for a binary format number initially. If they does not enter, I will mod it by 10. If 1 or 0 does not come, that means he has not entered the correct 1 or 0 format number. So this will be discarded and it will be returned set as invalid entry. Then I will break the statement and they will come out of the looping environment. if the given input is in the correct format, then I will continue it, and then in each first I will divide the number by 10 and store it in the variable t, temporary variable. So now if my number was 100, it will become 10 and will be stored in t. And now that particular variable, I will multiply the last variable with a 2 to the power c. Initially c is 0, but in the end it will increment. So now the t3 will be multiplied by decrement variable, will be appended to the decrement variable. Now let's suppose this number become 10, and now it is again divided by 10, it becomes 1, and 2 in 10. Now it's the value of c has incremented as it went to the last loop, so it now will be 2 into 10. So now the 2 into 10, that is 20. Then it will be again multiplied by t2, and in the end decrement variable will be added. So now as you can see, the last number is 1. Again after 10 it's 1, and then when it becomes 0 the loop will end. So 1 0 0 1 0 0, so the answer will come 4. So as you can see, I have performed this particular output. So the give the format in a binary format. I entered the input in the form of binary, that is 1 and 0. So 1 0 1 1 1 0. So as you can see, the answer came to 22. It was 1 2 4 8. As you will compile it, it will come 22. So now my program was octa to hexa. So this was a similar program as we performed the first program with the exactly same logic. The first program which we performed decimal to binary, but here what perform the operation we have to do is we have to not divide the particular code by 2 but by 8. So here as you can see, first I am asking the user the octal format number, and if the particular number is not equal to 0 and 8, if there is no in the last number there is no 0 and 8, I will say it is an invalid entry, because I want the user to enter a octal number. Now if I have a particular correct entry, that is the octal number, I will divide it by 10. I will divide it by 10 and store it in a variable t. Now what I will do, I will echo and multiply with 8 to the power c, as I did in the previous case. So c, initially I am taking a counter variable as 0, and I will increment it in the end, and again I will multiply t1 with t2 and store it into the variable 3, and in the end in the decrement variable I will append t3 with the decrement variable. So then I will take a hex variable which will be equal to none initially. Now the variable which I got, so what happened initially, that after I have converted this the octal variable to the decimal variable till here. Now I will convert the particular variable to the hexadecimal variable. So why t is not equal to 0? So again I am using the decimal the decimal variable. So I have converted the particular octal variable to the decimal variable till here, and I am storing this decimal variable into the particular temporary variable, that is t. Now I am seeing if t is not equal to 0. Now the same particular format will be executed as I did in conversion of decimal to binary, but here we have to do this conversion from decimal to hexadecimal. So I will divide it by 16. So as you can see, I have stored in the variable temporary variable, and if there in the end comes 10, then the hexa variable should become a. If it comes 11, then the hexa variable should come b. If 12, then c. If 13, then e. If 14, then e. And the last, if it's 15, in the any number is 15, it should come 5. And then in the end I will end and divide the particular variable with 16, and I will print the hex variable. So this was my input. As you can see, enter the number, I entered it 56. So when it is converted into hexadecimal, it will come 2e. So the fourth program is conversion of hexa to octal. So this is the same program, so with the previous same logic. So the program is this is the program which I performed in the SSH client of 40. And so initially I'm storing the variable in the temp variable and taking flag 0, and now I'm initializing. If the flag is not equal to 1, the loop will not run. If it is equal to 1, the loop will run, and it will the number which I've taken $n will be minus by $1, and then the choice will be taken, and then I will equal $n minus 1. Then while temp is not equal to 0, until and unless the temporary variable not equal to 0, it will enter the loop and not exit the loop. Now t equal $ch mod 10, so I'm taking the modulus of the variable ch and storing it into the variable t, and I'm seeing it until and unless t is equal to c, it will run inside the loop. And now the t1, which is a temporary variable, will multiply, divide, take a modulus by 100, and then in the end we will take a modulus by 10, and I will multiply it with the 16th variable as it is conversion till there. And this the same operation is performed which I did in the previous conversion. In the end, what I will do, if the temporary variable is not equal to 0, then I will take the modulus of 8 and then divide it by 8, and then multiply it 10 into counter variable. Initially counter variable is taken as 0, but then in the last statement it will be increment, and the oct number which I have taken as initially, as you can see, the oct variable I have taken at 8, so it will be appended in the end, and the oct variable, it will store in the answer will be stored in the oct variable, and in the end the oct variable will be displayed using echo function. So this was my fourth one. Now decimal to hexa. So this is my program for decimal to hexa. Enter a number in decimal. I'm taking a number in decimal and storing into a very temporary variable t. Now I'm seeing until and unless the temporary variable is not equal to 0, it will run inside the while loop. And if t is equal to 10, that means if the number is equal to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 or 15, it should come in an hexadecimal value, that is A, B, C, D, E and F, which is for 15. So here if you can see, I've given the number 59. So as soon as we convert this particular number to the 59, it will print it as 3b. This is the hexadecimal representation of a particular decimal number. So these are the 5 programs which I had to perform for my experiment number 4. So these are the experiments I performed in PuTTY SSH client in the Linux and Unix environment. So these were successfully compiled and executed without any errors. Thank you for watching.